I'm 41, in a navy dress that pretends to be modest until the light finds the slit, and my husband is late to his best friend's wedding because traffic on I-95 is hell. I know that smell on his collar is an exhaust. The ballroom at the Marriott smells like buttercream and lilies. The DJ keeps saying, "Make some noise, Baltimore," and everyone does, except the woman who already knows there's a second phone in her husband's glove box. Me. Cullen, the best man, catches me circling the bourbon table. His silver cufflink glints like an eye. He always wore them for Jay, even in college photos. He texted me, Cullen says, leaning close, voice a dry drink. He's parking. He doesn't sound convinced. His hand doesn't touch me, but it edits the air near my waist. You okay? He asks. I want to be okay, like a problem wants to be solved. I smile the kind of smile that makes people ask for Venmo handles. Be good, I say. It used to be our private joke back when Jay wanted me to wear stockings just for dinner and we thought rules made us interesting. The DJ calls for speeches in 20. The bride's aunt complains about the shrimp. I hear myself say, I'm fine, and I'm almost believable. The camera crew is everywhere. Drones of attention hovering. Mirrors on the hotel columns multiply me. A woman who chose expensive simplicity. A woman whose lipstick will stain a linen napkin like evidence. I think of the second phone and the hotel 2 exits north. A vow is only as strong as the room you avoid. Colin reads my face like a blueprint. Breathe with me, he says, half teasing, and I do, because my body listens to authority even when my brain refuses. He shows me the speech on his phone. It's funny, gentle, a little too long. Cut the golf joke, I say. He deletes it without argument. The power of that small obedience makes heat bloom behind my knees. My husband texts a photo of brake lights, as if that could fix the time he is burning. I type back a heart I don't feel and leave the message on read. My pulse calibrates to the DJ's warm-up bass. Colin notices the heart. His mouth twitches. You still want to play perfect? He asks. It isn't cruel. It's curious, clinical, like he's testing a wire to see if it carries current. He turns his cufflink. The etched initial flashes. C for Colin. C for control. There's a tiny nick on his knuckle, a hangnail he didn't cut clean. I want to put it in my mouth and make it neat. Walk with me, he says, and the way he doesn't touch me is a touch. We drift along the edge of the cocktail hour, past the photo booth and a toddler trying to eat a boutonniere. I keep seeing that spare phone like a blinking cursor. Every woman at my table could tell me 12 stories about men and parking lots. We trade them like recipes with secret extra salt. In the service corridor, the hotel breathes different, coffee detergent, the bite of cold air that keeps the kitchen angry and efficient. Colin stops by a door marked employees only. His voice lowers, a wire pulled tight. Tell me what you need to not break, he says. I could say, honesty, apology, a new mattress with no memory. I say nothing. Silence is me picking a lock. He watches me count beats. Be good, he repeats back to me, testing the phrase for weight. It lands between us like a coin on its edge. I feel it wobble. The corridor is a narrow confession. I nod once, and it's an oath. He steps closer, not touching, just owning the space, asking without asking. The slit of my dress forgets its job and opens. If I say yes, I will not be the only person in this marriage who can't take it back. The kitchen door swings, and a server barrels through with a tray of crab cakes. Apologize is gone. We both laugh, and the laughter is a hinge. My phone buzzes on my way up. He adds a smile. He loves emojis more than truth. I tuck the phone face down. I picture him walking in, scanning the room for me like a man who expects his keys to still be where he left them. Colin's breath warms the shell of my ear. Say the word, he tells me, slow, precise, or walk away. Power offered like a glass of water. I take neither. I take the moment, which is worse. I say, if we do this, we do it clean. His eyebrow rises. I touch his sleeve, just above the wrist where pulse meets fabric. No marks, I add. No mess. It sounds like a policy, and he nods like a man who can follow one. We're one door away from the ballroom. My husband is 1 minute away from the elevator. The DJ is one speech away from every eye turning. I fix my lipstick, press my mouth to a linen napkin, leave a perfect stain, and tuck it into my clutch like a receipt. When the elevator dings, I don't move toward it. I step with Colin into the dark behind the coat room, and the coin between us finally falls. I don't hear which side it lands on. That's the problem. Or maybe it's the point. The first thing I feel is not his hand. It's his pause. Colin waits, not patient so much as exacting, and the waiting is a kind of instruction. Coats hang like witnesses. The hum of the venue becomes a steady metronome. I can name every sin I'm about to commit, and still my body leans. My rules, no marks, no mess, are a ribbon we both hold. If he tugs, I will follow. Look at me, he says. His voice isn't rough, it's managerial. I lift my chin and meet those too sincere eyes. The cufflink flashes again, silver, initialed, inevitable. He doesn't kiss me first. He addresses my posture, a hand at the small of my back guiding me straighter, then closer, then almost. It feels like being proofread. It feels like someone fixing the part of me that keeps misspelling stay. My phone buzzes again. Where are you? And I let it brew in the clutch. One question, Colin says. Do you want to hurt him or want to feel alive? The answer is yes. He smiles like I solved an equation. His fingers lace mine and place them on the cool steel of the coat room bar. Not pinning, arranging. The bar is my new straight line. Be good, he says softly, returning the phrase to my mouth like a borrowed note. There's a thrill in being curated. He tests the hem of my dress, not lifting, just mapping. His palm finds the back of my thigh where silk meets skin. A temperature change, so precise it steals grammar. Color, he asks. Black, I whisper. He rewards the honesty with pressure that leaves no trace. Consent is tasted, not assumed. The coats sway faintly, a chorus of expensive secrets. I breathe in cedar and hotel soap, and the air shivers. Footsteps pass on the other side of the door. We freeze, and in the freeze I discover a smaller yes, the edge where risk sharpens want. He uses his tie like a promise, dragging the silk across my wrist and letting it fall. No knots, no bruises. The fetish here is almost nothing. Just the idea that I could be held and am not, that I could be seen and am not yet. He murmurs, still clean, and the rule itself turns my knees to water. Say when he prompts. I say now, and he lifts the dress enough to make weather, not a spectacle. Heat gathers, deliberate as a verdict. He keeps his other hand on the bar beside mine, knuckles grazing a steady anchor. Eyes open, he says, and I obey because we both understand who I am when the structure is clear. The coat room bulb hums. Somewhere the DJ bungles a name and the crowd laughs. It sounds far away and perfectly aimed. He doesn't rush. He calibrates. Every movement is a remedy to the way I've been starved without knowing it. I'm not a girl, thank God, and nothing here mistakes me for one. I'm a woman being addressed in the tense she deserves. Good, he says when my breath staggers and evens again. The word isn't praise, it's alignment. I file the feeling somewhere between anger and relief. Wait, he says, suddenly still. He peels a linen napkin from my clutch, the one with my lipstick mark, and slides it between us, folded neat as law. No mess. My rule, obeyed with diabolical care. I swallow a laugh that isn't funny. He pockets the napkin after like a signature. For a second, I picture it later in someone else's hand, proof turned relic. The thought shouldn't thrill me. It does. The door clicks, a shadow crosses the thin light, and we hold our breath. If someone opens it, my life becomes a different genre. The shadow moves on. He leans into my ear and says, almost kind, last chance. I don't take it. I take him in the way that doesn't require removing a single button and somehow removes everything else. The coat hooks tremble. My name is a small sound I hadn't expected to make. When it crests, it isn't cinematic. It's surgical, a knot pulled, a wire freed, a shock that reroutes the circuit. His hand stays at my hip, steady, and for a second I surrender, so completely I forget there is a husband who texts photos of traffic. I forget I ever called myself good. Breath returns in shaky payments. He touches my jaw, thumb collecting nothing because we kept it clean. We straighten without fuss. He fixes my hem with infuriating tenderness. I smooth his tie. He presses the cufflink flat like he's signing off a report. We look like people who only ever small talk. We end it here, I say, voice low, as if saying it makes it true. Here is already too much, he answers, and he's right. The room has our fingerprints, even if we left none. We step out just as the DJ calls for the best man speech. Applause blooms, the bride glows, the camera swings. Cullen walks to the mic, and I slide into my seat, cheeks cool, back straight, the model of polite joy. My husband appears at the far door, hair a little wild, tie loosened like an alibi. Our eyes catch. He smiles, relieved, his gaze cutting to me, then to the stage. And then I see it, the smallest tilt of his head, the satisfied, private curve of his mouth as Colin begins. A look I've only seen when he's gotten away with something. Recognition drips cold down my spine. He isn't scanning for me. He's watching, like he already knows exactly where I've been. Colin's speech is good. It lands jokes like airplanes, smooth and smug, and the room loves him for it. I hear every word and none of them. My husband leans on the doorframe, arms crossed, a spectator who arrived just in time for the main event. The silver cufflink winks from the stage, a metronome for guilt. I press my thighs together and feel the ghost of what we did and did not do, immaculate and damning. Jay finally moves toward our table, performing small apologies as he goes. Nightmare, he says when he reaches me. You look incredible. He tucks a strand of hair behind my ear with the intimacy of a man who believes in his ownership papers. His knuckle brushes the shell of my earlobe where Colin's breath lived. Be good, he murmurs like muscle memory, like he can summon the old script on demand. Always, I say, and watch his pupils flare just a fraction. Anger, amusement, arousal, hard to tell. He sits. His phone trills, and he thumbs it silent. I catch a glimpse of the lock screen. Not traffic. A hotel hallway. Carpet the color of money. The second phone sister. My napkin, folded in Colin's pocket, weighs 1,000 pounds. During dessert, Jay squeezes my knee under the table, public sweetness, and the pressure translates to a threat only I can read. Bathroom, he suggests, mischief in the tone parents use before sneaking out of a PDA meeting. I stand because not standing is confessing. The hallway is lined with framed photos of the inner harbor and glossy ships that don't sink. He doesn't take me to the bathroom. He takes me to the service stairwell, our old move from years back, a place to be almost bad without consequences. He closes the door and looks at me like an auditor. So, he says, congenial. You and Colin. He waits. He already knows. This is not discovery, it's inventory. Are we pretending, I ask, or negotiating? He smiles. Same thing. My pulse steadies, not from calm, but from decision. You've got footage? I ask, testing a false lead. He barks a laugh. I don't need footage to read a tie askew. I taught you rules, babe. He steps closer, palms hovering. No marks, he says, amused. No mess. He says it like he's proud I remembered. The humiliation is a living thing. It wants to bloom, and I make it a bud instead. She worth it? I ask. Tonight's, he says, and that plural cut's cleaner than any blade. Cullen appears in the doorway's tiny glass square, just passing the hall with a plate, unaware he's a ghost in our argument's mirror. I keep my face neutral. Jay follows my glance and smiles shark small. He's always had a thing, Jay says. College. That camping trip. You never saw it. He's patient like fungus. The cruelty is light, practiced, almost charming. He leans in, voice cool. Here's the play. We go home. We do the Sunday routine. You text him goodbye. We don't ruin their wedding with our melodrama. He taps my chin gentle as a trainer with a prize fighter. Be good, and we get past this. Be dramatic, and I pull the pin. What pin? I ask, though I think I know. He grins. Your little consulting client, who's actually your ex? The Venmo notes aren't poetry. The false lead dies. He doesn't have the napkin. He just has everything else. I let the fear pass through like a storm over water. You want me obedient, I say. You want me complicit. I want my life, he says simply. You want yours. Overlap is marriage. He says it like math, and maybe it is. The cufflink flashes in my head like a lighthouse. I surprise both of us. No, I say soft. The small word stretches to fit the stairwell. He blinks. No. We are not quietly resetting. We are renegotiating. My voice holds. New rules. If you want overlap, you meet me halfway where I actually live. He scoffs, but something flickers, the face he makes when a deal includes a clause he missed. Here are my terms. I say heart-steadying because the structure is mine this time. Transparency that hurts. Therapy that costs. And for once, I choose who gets to see me. I let the last line hang. I'm done being curated. He studies me like the market just shifted under his feet. And if I don't agree, he asks, then I stop being good, I say, and the echo in the stairwell turns it into an omen. He considers. Pride rubs against pragmatism. Outside, the DJ calls for last dance. Somewhere, Cullen laughs, unaware he's part exhibit, part alibi. Jay exhales. You always did like making contracts, he murmurs. Fine. Terms on paper. But you text him tonight. I will, I say, and he narrows his eyes, hearing the loophole I haven't written yet. We re-enter the ballroom as the lights warm to honey. The bride and groom sway. Guests circle them. Phones aloft, capturing proof. I catch Colin's eye across the room. I touch my clutch, a smallest nod, and he understands too much. He doesn't come over. That's his talent. He stays where he is and lets the space say everything. On the way out, Jay kisses my temple for the cameras. Be good, he whispers. Be better, I answer. It lands clean. In the Uber home, I draft the text to Colin and delete it twice. When I finally send something, it isn't goodbye. It is precisely rules change. No marks. No mess. My choice. He replies with a single photo of his palm. Open, empty. An invitation with no demand. I rest my head against the car window and watch the city pass in little squares of light. I may stay married. I may burn it down. Either way, the next rule has my name on it, and for once, that feels like the point.